Well, students and staff at WSU are mourning the death of a beloved history professor. Police say 51-year-old Scott Stratton took his dog for a walk last night but never returned home. His body was found this morning in a Pullman pond. Dr. Stratton had a history of medical problems, but right now police don't know if that played a role in his death. And KXLY4's Kylee Cruz live in Pullman, the park where Stratton's body was found. Kylee.
And Nadine, police say that his death was an accident. There were no signs of trauma or foul play. It truly is a tragic story. And tonight we're learning more about the life and legacy of Professor Scott Stratton. There are college professors, and then there's Scott Stratton, a passionate history teacher whose classes always filled up fast.
He was very passionate about what he was teaching. You could tell that he didn't just want to talk about it. He wanted the students to understand it and wanted the students to really be able to connect it nowadays.
Evan Weber was in one of Dr. Stratton's classes. He just saw him yesterday. He's now stunned by his professor's passing.
It's just shocking. You don't really expect it to happen. It's still something, it's still sinking in right now.
Stratton's walk with his dog last night took a tragic turn when the dog came home and Stratton didn't. His body was found in the Sunnyside Pond this morning. Police call his death an accident. But Stratton's not defined by his death, but by his life and teaching.
Always engaging. He was never just someone who stood behind a podium. He was always someone that was walking up and down the classroom, was always asking questions.
Dr. Ray Sun, the chair of the WSU History Department, calls Stratton a utility infielder, always willing to help out in a pinch.
He was an all-around good and helpful person in the department, and you need people like that to make a workplace.
Stratton grew up in Pullman. He got his PhD from ASU and then came back to teach at WSU in 2009.
Really helpful guy who cared about teaching and cared about history, and you can't just buy that off the shelf. So we'll miss that.
Stratton was a history buff who, in a sense, made history at WSU as an energetic professor who inspired others to fall in love with history like he did. An autopsy will be performed in the coming days to determine Stratton's exact cause of death. Dr. Sun with WSU says Stratton wasn't married and didn't have any kids. He is survived by his father, who is actually a WSU history professor. He retired but is still teaching a few classes there each year. Reporting live in Pullman tonight, I'm Kylee Cruz, KXLY4 News.